Hello everyone, welcome back to my garage. It's been a while since I last posted a video. Um, Today's video is actually not so much about it's fishing related, but it's more about things that I take with me on a kayak for fishing, which I find to be valuable to have on a kayak, and things that I think every fisherman should consider, but more practical stuff, stuff that is important for safety, and things that I found that has made my life easier on the water. So I'm going to dive straight into it, and there's no particular order to these things. It's just I dragged it out of my kayak, and I thought I'll show you what I carry with me in the addition to your standard fishing stuff, and hopefully there's some of these things that you might find handy and add to your arsenal on the kayak. And the first things I'm going to jump off with is actually related to sun and element, environmental protections. So a good sunscreen, at least 30 SPF and higher, is what I like to use. And although I'll show you some of the other stuff I use, I like to still put it on the places where I will get a lot of sun, especially my neck. Sometimes when in the heart of summer I want to do fish with shorts on, I have to cover my legs with some sort of a sunscreen. So it's something that I definitely recommend as something to have in a kayak. Going with that is I do recommend investing in a good pair of fishing gloves, ones that have sun protection in them. These ones that I have here is made by Hook. They were like maybe $30. They got covered up to the fingers over there. They've got some grip on the inside. There is many brands out there, but really like these. Really protects your hands from the sun, and again, limits the amount of sunburn. The one thing I do like about this brand, or what they've done, is they've got quite a long cuff or area up here, so it goes, if you wear a shirt or whatever, it actually goes in. It's a nice overlap. You don't get the glove separating from the shirt and get these burns, these line burns. So I do like that fact. If you can find something like that, that's something I would recommend. I go through a pair of gloves, at least 2 to 3 pairs a season. You're going to get hooks in them, and they're going to get a little bit of holes in them, and they get dirty and stuff, but they work really well on cold days. They provide enough protection to at least keep your hands warm to some degree, but mainly sun protection. Excellent investment. Same goes for around your neck. It's really dirty. This is a Buff. It's from Raw Fishing, a local Canadian clothes maker. Really another excellent investment. I like to fish with a wide brim hat. I'll show you one that I've bought and I really like. But if you fish with a ball cap, your ears are going to be exposed, side of your face. Even me with my wide brim hat, there's a lot of reflection off the water. I still burn on my face. Your neck, of course, excellent neck protector. Really worthwhile to invest in one of these as well when it gets cool and cold. You get different types of materials. But you can pull it over your ears, keep your face, keep yourself protected. Again, really worthwhile investing in one of these things, and I really recommend using these, protection against the sun. And then the obvious, a good sun shirt. It's not inside out, but again, loads of manufacturers out there, and these things have become a lot more affordable. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg. This is, obviously Cabela's brand. I picked it at the end of the season. I picked these up for below $20. They are fully sun protection ones, and doesn't matter which brand you use, but a long sleeve fishing shirt and the new materials that they use, it is not very hot. I wear a full life jacket. I don't wear one of the small ones. I have a full one. With one of these shirts on, I never really get overly hot. They breathe really well. They keep you nice and cool. But again, ultimately you get really good sun protection, and you don't get off the water burnt to a crisp. I talked about a hat. You know, sometimes I will fish with a ball cap, but I bought a new one. This is the second one I've owned, and this is by Eddie Bauer. And you know, why I like this one from Eddie Bauer, which they make, is it has a really firm brim area. It's hard. Plus, this is fully waterproof. Yeah. And what's nice, especially for me that fish with glasses, I can sit in the rain. I sat in the rain. I have another one like this, but it's an older one. I thought it's time to upgrade. It can rain. The rain will fall up here. It doesn't come through the top section, and it will come and will drop off on the white side. So it keeps my glasses dry, and it's brilliant. I mean, for sun protection as well as against heavy rains, the water falls wider. So it doesn't come and fall right here where you might have a transition from your shirt or your rain jacket, so you don't get water coming in on your neck. Really good. Love this hat. And they're not that expensive. It can tighten at the back. Light, breathable. Excellent hats. I mean, like I said, this is the second one that I've bought from them. It's different to the one previous Eddie Bauer one, but same concept of a hard outer rim, which is great. Nice if you like this type of style of hats. Again, staying in the clothing side of things, something that I started using this year, which was very handy, is little neoprene gloves, and these are thin 0.5 mil neoprene gloves. And you get them in various thicknesses, but I found that these little 0.5 millimeter ones, so they're very thin, they actually kept my hands nice and warm when the weather was getting cold for quite a long time before I had to go to something thicker and something with more thermal protection. So these ones, you can cut the fingers and so that you can at least fingers, but I could even cast with these ones on because they're so thin. I kept them on fishing, so worked really well for me. I was really impressed, and for no cost at all, really helped me, especially going into the early fall, cold temperatures. Really handy to have a thin pair of neoprene gloves, like I say, 0.5 millimeters, work really well. So moving along, let's move away from clothes. Next, and again in no particular order, something that I think every fisherman should have is investing in covers for your rods. These are not superly expensive, but I mean, and it doesn't matter if you have rods in the price range of $100 or rods in the price range of $1,000. I think you want to protect your rods and protect the guides and stuff like that. So it's definitely worthwhile investing in one of these rod sleeves. Come in really handy. Next thing, I think a piece of equipment I've come to use. This is the smaller version. This is the lip grippers up here in Canada, and I think a lot of places in North America you get some really toothy critters. I mean, if you're a walleye fisherman or you're fishing for pike or muskie, one of these things are very handy, especially when dealing with those type of fish. You don't want to get your hands close to their mouths. Their teeth are really sharp. I learned that the hard way. And especially when you also sometimes when you deal with those fish and you caught them on a crankbait, they thrash quite a bit. You don't want to get those crankbait hooks in your hands. So another worthwhile investment is one of these lip grippers. You get various kinds and styles, so whatever you like. So going on to getting hooks in your fingers and stuff like that, I think every kayak angler or any angler should have a first aid kit on board. With basic stuff. I mean, I have things to deal with cuts, and and you know, some aspirin and things like that, antiseptic stuff. Very basic little kit. I mean, you don't, but you want to at least have something with you that if you cut your hand, and it's happened to me once, and it wasn't even on the kayak, wasn't even fishing. I only picked it up when I was on the water. It was while I was actually taking my kayak off the trailer. Somewhere along, I cut my finger on a piece of metal, and it was pitch black. I didn't even see it. I mean, I had blood everywhere. Minor cut, but still, you know, it was just an annoyance of having this constant bleeding that I don't want to stop. So simple band-aid would have been a perfect solution. I didn't have anything on me, so you know, invest in this. Put something together. It won't take you long. A couple of band-aids, some headache tablets, whatever you think is necessary to help yourself out on the water, or actually help another angler. You know, it can come in very handy for other anglers to help somebody else that's in trouble. So on that note, I'll move on to pliers. Invest in a good set of pliers. Just basic. I mean, yeah, long needle nose pliers to take hooks out of fish, obvious. But also, you know, again, if you get a treble stuck in you really deep, it's not advisable to go yank that out. You can actually cause damage to your tendons and stuff like that. So something that actually gives you the ability to also cut a hook, you know, so you don't have this big hook or something, and you can at least just cut the hook and cover it up, or do something just to get that, you know, get into a better situation as worthwhile. So I mean, this serves multi-purposes. Hooks, taking out hooks taken in by fish, and all these things. So good set of pliers. I don't think anybody should leave house without it. In a similar fashion, good pair of either braid scissors or line cutter scissors, or on my life jacket I have one of these line cutters, you know, tethered onto me that can cut the line. I love using these, but I also have a pair of these line cutters. $5, nothing, but really nice. I mean, tie a notch, you want to trim it nicely, you want to cut the lines, but it serves other purposes as well. Having a nice pair of scissors is if you have to cut something. So another good thing to have on you. Bait covers. And I have a couple of different ones. I have two friends that was very kind enough to make me some. I have some hard PVC clear ones, and then I have this one. These are very handy, and you can buy them in any store. You know, you have your treble hook bait sitting here, and then putting this wrap around it. No hooks get hooked on anything. It's nice for when you transport your rods. You know, the exposed hooks don't hook into your car seats or into your equipment and these things. So these are really, really handy to have. You know, also if you're one of those that are super secretive and don't want the rest of the world to know what bait you're throwing on a day, well, here's your solution. You can hide it. But it's definitely more for me. It's very handy to not get hooks stuck in everything, and also hook into my other rods, especially when you transport. And I, you know, for the treble hook ones, I'll keep these on while I go onto the water and rather take them off, and then just makes life easier. But multiple styles and types out there, but definitely something that's worthwhile investing in. Something else, really simple. Fuses. Your fish finder, if you I have a fuse, inline fuse for the fish finder from the battery and these things. You know, it's a protection measure if something, so my fish finder is protected. But if that thing blows on the water and I don't have any backup fuses, I'm without a fish finder for the day. So I do carry fuses with me for my fish finder. Maybe something to consider if you run, especially nowadays with everybody running multiple electronics and multiple, you know, now that trolling motors are becoming popular on kayaks, and you might be running a lot of stuff off your single battery or whatever how you have it set up. I mean, you can be stuck out there if the one fuse in that whole setup go and everything dies on you. So look at fuses, carry the ones that you might be able to change on the water. So I think that's definitely worthwhile. Same thing, I'm just having one spanner here, but tools. Tools might be another thing that you might need. For instance, I fish out of a Hobie, and Mirage Drive, I've hit a tree stump hard enough to bend one of my fins, support bars. I do carry a spare one now with me, but I am capable of actually taking that out and putting that on the water if I needed to, or at least go to the shoreline and do it. If there's something on your kayak that you might think you need to fix at any given time that might happen to you, maybe worthwhile looking into some kind of tools, whatever you might need, screwdriver, wrench, whatever. Another thing that's handy is cloths on a kayak. I carry multiple. This is now just a microfiber cloth, more so to clean glasses and my screens of my GoPros and my fish finder. But I also carry a small towel with me, through the day, handling fish and all these things, and just this nice cleaning your hands before I eat my sandwich or wiping things down. Just another thing, towels. Having one on the board is always very nice. Then another thing that I think every fisherman should have, and I've talked into more detail in one of my other videos, is a good fishing net. It's definitely a worthwhile investment. Like I said, this is the Bass Pro brand. It's nice and deep. It has the coated netting, really nice long reach to it. Works really well, and it costs 20 Canadian, 19.99 Canadian at any Bass Pro shop. Honestly, I think one of the most affordable and great net, big open mouth, so no problem landing a bass in that. Really good value for the money. So a good fishing net is another thing that I think any fisherman or anybody on a kayak should invest in. Something else, and I've discussed this in previous videos as well, is power banks. I know some guys like to run and install multiple power solutions on their kayak, in their kayak, like USB connection ports and these things. I don't like drilling into my kayak, and I don't think it's necessary to run things and wires in your kayak. Simpler solution for power banks. These things are not expensive anymore. You can buy them in various sizes. You can carry, I run all my GoPros off one. I have a spare one for my cell phone as a backup power if something ever had to go wrong. Cheap, affordable power, especially nowadays with all the, all our photos. We want to take cameras, videos, and all these things. So definitely worthwhile investment to look into these. Then next thing, and I'm going to just take it off here quickly, because this is my light that I've been using the whole time, is a light. Now, again, I know some guys like to install lights on their kayak, and in some regions maybe you might need to have lights on your kayak to go out and early or at night. But I bought this light, and it's actually a diver's light. It's something that you can screw on, and it's used for diving purposes. It's a cheap, I can share a link, but it's a cheap diver's light. So it's totally waterproof. I can submerge this underwater and it's fine. And what's nice about it is it's rechargeable. Open it up, plug it in, and you recharge it. And it's powerful. I mean, it's a nice, powerful light. The 2 settings and then the flashing light and these things. But what I love about this, it has the same mounting options as what you do for GoPros. And I have the GoPro clip on here. In the mornings when it's dark and I am on the water for the first time, I have to get my kayak ready. I switch this on. Everywhere I turn and look, I mean, I can see it's awesome light. And then brilliant light for, like, I think it was $30 or something. And like I say, it can rain really hard or anything, nothing can touch this. So cheap light, really handy to have. And like I say, you could unscrew this and mount this on multiple things if you needed to. But look at that on Amazon. You get the diving lights, really cheap LED light option. So that is it. I just wanted to go through a couple of things that I use and which I found to be very handy for me. That is not your normal fishing related products. So hopefully that's handy, and somebody can find something that is good for them to use and beneficial and can help them out on the water. With that said, until next time, cheers.